Ladies and everybody, we are going to wait 10 minutes before starting because I see in the audience there are still. Okay. Ma la Presidente è arrivata? Let's start in a while. I think that... Io penso che tu sarai in piedi poi quando sei. Di là, io ti ho dato uno sgabello, solo loro due, dove vuoi? Ti ho dato lo sgabello, VIP. Going to start in a couple of minutes. Welcome to everybody. How are you today? Great. After a beautiful day yesterday, thanks to the organization of the Women of the Wine, we went in Lombardy to visit 3 wineries. All the women, yes. It was very interesting, right? Yes. And let's start with an applause to our guest that I'm going to introduce in a while. Okay. The session of today is the scenario of the wine industry, evolution and perspectives. We have some great guests today. The first one is Donatella Cinelli Colombini, our president of the Women of the Wine in Italy, but let's say worldwide. Thank you, Donatella, for being here. Then we have Carlos Velos dos Santos, CEO of Amorim Cork, Italy. Then we have Professor Eugenio Pomarici, okay, ordinary professors in the Department for Territory and Agroforestal Systems by the University of Padova, right? Yes. And Professor Giuseppe Festa, University of Salerno. Okay. First of all, we start with... Okay, you want to move there? Yeah. With Donatella, please. Okay. That you will introduce to the work that we are doing today. And we thank everybody for being here and the guests.
Welcome everybody. It is a great, great pleasure to give a warm welcome to the foreign guests. It's a great pleasure to receive you in Italy and for this meeting. And a great ciao to the Italian members of our association. Now we are 1,020 members. The biggest association, Women of Wine Association in the world. It is a great pleasure, but also an important charge, an important...
Yeah.
Yes. And so, thank you for coming. And I have to thank also the people that organize this exhibition and this meeting. Monica Pedrazzini, exhibition manager of CIMEI, with Raffaella Leoni, Laura Gaggianesi, and Giorgio Goria for the organization by Unione Italiana Vini, that is the wine association that organized CIMEI. Thank you to Alessandra Fedi, that is a wine educator that is a member of our association, that today is the manager of this meeting. So thank you everybody, and I hope that you will spend a very nice and interesting day all together. Thank you everybody.
Thank you, Donatella. And let's start with Carlos Santos, CEO of Amorim Cork. You are going to introduce such an interesting topic, Carlos, today. I can read Becoming a Positive Organization, the model of management that is based on the principle of science of happiness.
Exactly. Okay,
Great.
thank you. Good morning. Sorry my voice because I am still with the flu. And for me it's an honor to be here, to be together with this beautiful association. I am the CEO of Amorim Italy, the world leading company in the production of corks. To you that probably you don't know us, we are the world leading company in the production of corks. But I will not speak about cork. I will speak about what is our philosophy in terms of corporate happiness. So, let's start. Why to become a positive organization? Okay, so today I am convinced that the well-being in the company is the most important aspect to develop to be a successful company. But it was not always like that. When I am CEO of this company since 2005, and when I started to do this job, I thought that when you want to manage a company, you need to give orders, but it's not like that. You need to know how to guide people giving the example. So, the challenge now is to become a positive organization. Have you ever heard about positive organizations? Who knows about this? Okay? Okay, so these are the beliefs of old-fashioned companies. First, the duty, after the pleasure. Why work should not be a pleasure? Happiness is something personal that cannot fit in a work context. Wrong. Happiness is an emotion. Work is a serious thing. Wrong. Money can buy happiness. It's not like that. We know. Changing jobs or career can make you happy. This is not true. It is impossible to tell what makes people happy at work. When we will be successful, we will also think about being happy. It's not true. And finally, it is what it is. This system will never change, which means that people don't do anything to change the current situation. So, this is why most of the people considering work tiring and depressing. And this is a problem for us that we manage companies, because if we are not able to transform all this power in a positive approach to work, we are losing an important asset in our management. So this is why 85% of the employees are unmotivated, and only 13% are motivated. Imagine that 70% of the changes that you put in the company do not bring the results you expect. Okay. Non va tanto bene. Okay. So, as I said to you, only 13% of the employees are completely involved. But imagine that only 10% of workers will recommend his own boss. So, which means that we have a problem with bad managing. But if we add to this the systemic problem with negativity due to the fact that we are living really after the Second World War, a crisis, but a crisis for food, a crisis for the war, a crisis for the climate change, COVID, inflation. So people are really negative today. They don't see the future as a bright one. So what should we do? Do we escape? Or we try to face the problem? So in our company, we decided to face the problem. Because we can't live without work. We need to work. I don't know, probably some lucky guys are able to live without working, but I don't think that a person that does not work is a happy one. Okay, so we need to work. So imagine that in 1927, in the US, there was this Hawthorne effect. They start speaking with people, trying to understand what were they feeling. And just only for that, people start producing more. This happened in 1927, almost 100 years ago. So this means that if you take care of your people, you try to understand exactly how your people are feeling, they have a different approach to work. But then we have other problem. People that see always negative. You speak with someone, everything is always black. Everything is always difficult. Everything, you cannot do it, okay? And this means that the word no, when someone says no, this activates the cortisol, which is the enzyme of stress. If you say yes, you activate dopamine, which is the enzyme of happiness, okay? This is why you need to get rid, you need to analyze in your life if you are surrounded by toxic people. What it means, people that takes you energy instead of giving you energy, okay? So if you want to know exactly if you have positive people around you, you need to analyze if around you the 5 persons that are more near to you are positive or negative. Because if in among these 5 persons there are negative persons, you will also get the bad energy from these people. So words change your brain's perceptions and are the primary means of inducing positive expectations. This is why the high-performing teams are those who use positive words to motivate people. So we need to change our mindset, how to manage people. When you need to say to someone, this is not correct, you cannot say you did this wrong. Because if you say you did this wrong, people will close the brain. Okay? But if you say, look, you do this very well, and this also very well. In this case, I think you should improve. You can improve this approach, and probably it will be more successful. So this way, people will accept. So when you need to say to someone, you need to correct something, you don't need to say to him, you did this wrong. First, you give 2 feedbacks of appreciation, and then 1 feedback of improvement. Why to become a positive organization? Look, more 300% of ability to innovate. In our company, we are innovating each day. Each day, because people, we are 75 persons plus 50 agents, we are creating new things each day. More 44% of customer retention. Our people approaches the customer in a different way. More 37% of sales increase. Sorry, probably I am in front of you. I'll put myself on this side. More 31% of productivity and minus 125% of turnover. We are in Veneto region. We have a problem due to turnover of the, we don't find labor force. So if we are a happy company, people will come to work with us, okay? So it's a change of mindset. Positive organization makes happiness a part of the management model, which means that we need to introduce in our company the principles of the happiness science. What is happiness? It's a mental system of well-being characterized by positive emotions, from the feeling of contentment to happiness. And it's a skill that you can train. It's not something that you say, okay, from tomorrow, everybody happy. No, it's not like that. You need to train this. How to train? First, yourself. You need to speak with you respectfully. This is the first point. Second point, share your happy moments with others. When you are happy, people like to know that you are happy, because then they will be able to share with you also their happiness. Savor every positive experience. This is another important aspect. Another thing is about energy. We capture energy through our interaction with people, something called relational energy. And it affects our performance at work. In fact, more people you energize, the higher your job performance will be. So, more positive approach you have to your people, and the work will flow much better. But the opposite is also true. If you de-energize others, people won't do all in their power to come to work and to help you out. And in certain cases, they will also sabotage your work because you do not have a correct approach to them. The secret to a better job, so, is well-being plus positive mindset equal to success. What is the example to follow? This is our path. Cultural transformation is what we are doing now. Positive leadership is what I am trying to give to all my responsibles, and hashtag stop bad manager. Positive organization, then you will arrive to the corporate happiness. What are the rules that you as a leader need to have to manage positively the people? First of all, less me and more us. This is not a one-man show, okay? Everybody needs to be on the stage, not only you. So you need to share the stage with all the other people. Second, expresses appreciation. You need to say, you did this very well. You are very good. Don't be afraid of saying this to a person. This person will give you everything if you appreciate their work. Third, communicates and gives feedback, but positive feedbacks, not negative feedbacks. Fourth, cares about the health and well-being of his employees. So you need to ask to your people, are you how you are today? Donatello was telling me the other day that they are like a family. They take care of their people. This is the way. You need to take care of your people. If you take care of your people will not betray you. Never. Fifth, practices kindness. We create the angle in our company of kindness, where people can leave each day a message of kindness to all the other persons in the company. Sixth, doesn't give orders. A good leader don't need to give orders, need to give the example. This is the way. Seventh, is coherent. So what is our path? We just started an 18 months training from the 1st of June. We start this, and the first step is to involve all the company, even the workers in the production, everybody. We now create a new role in the company, Chief Happiness Officer, and we are formatting 12 Chief Happiness Officers. I am also one of them, and inside of these 12 Chief Happiness Officers, I have probably the 4 most difficult people that I have in the company. Okay? And remember that our people represent our main assets. So don't forget, your success is not because you have a good product. Your success is because you have a good team. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you so much. Carlos, are you staying here with us or?
No, I have a conference now in our stand, so this is why I asked to start it first, because at 11 o'clock we will have Wine Meridian, Lavinia and Fabio
Okay.
to speak about communication in wine. This is why I
Okay.
thank you for you to welcome me here in the first intervention, because I need to leave you. So, but I will be with you this evening.
Any question
Of course,
about this beautiful presentation? Over there, everything was clear? You
No
gave
questions?
us, no, but you gave us such a beautiful approach to the company and to life, actually.
Yes,
To be positive.
As I was saying before to Gladys, we live only once. So when we live, we need to be happy, because tomorrow probably we don't know if we'll be here. So, which means that sometimes when we try to do so many things, so many, and sometimes so many wrong approaches to life, we need to forget that we are not eternal. So let's live this life in happiness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carlos. No question, and we move on because I'd like now to have Professor Eugenio Pomarici, who is professor at the University of Padova, introducing another interesting topic, which is the wine market labeling updates. I just Googled a little bit your curriculum. You have such a beautiful curriculum that I would like you to tell something about you, because I saw you are a member of IVE, exactly, also, and you are teaching the University of Padova.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And today the lesson is about the labeling updates. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for this introduction. Yes, I have a long curriculum because I am an old man. So.
Okay. No, I didn't mean that, actually. Sorry.
This is the main correlation. So. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Also, there are a few, but there are. Well, I'm truly happy and honored to be here today. And of course, I'm grateful to Donne del Vino and Donatella Cirelli-Combini for this invitation. Well, I was invited to speak about wine labeling. That is already a big issue, but also to give a quick glance on the situation of the wine market. Well, therefore, too much? Okay. I am going to split my presentation into parts. First, the first one focused on what we can call the current wine labeling issue that is related with a recent decision of the European Union about wine labeling. And the second one focused on potential development of world wine market and looking at which could be the most important constraint to this development in the future, that is the imminent labeling, wine labeling issue. So let's move to the background of the current wine labeling issue. So from where we come. In 1979, in European Union became compulsory to write on the label of foodstuff the list of ingredients. But at that time, wine and alcoholic beverage was accepted. Why? Because wine was considered a single ingredient product with single ingredient grape, of course. In 2011, new rule in European Union about foodstuff labeling, compulsory not only the ingredient list but also the nutritional declaration, but still wine and spirits was accepted by this obligation. But the time was changing, more sensibility by consumers, and so in 2013 2007, the European Union asked to the Wine and Spirit Association to prepare a proposal of self-regulation concerning wine and spirit labeling. In 2018, arrived this proposal that proposed a combination of information on the label, on the physical label, and information delivered by an electronic means, so e-ticketing. Again, in 2018, the wine sector asked to deal with this issue inside the ongoing process of common agricultural policy reform. And at the end, in 2021, we had the new regulation of common agricultural policy with a new rule about wine labeling, with more stringent rule, I would say. But the need for more information on the wine label is not only an European affair. As a matter of fact, quite everywhere in the world, new rules are coming, and the OIV is committed to try to drive or accompany this process to evolve in a harmonized way. Anyway, I have to see that what is changing in Europe is important for the wine everywhere in the world, because every producer outside EU export to EU, and the EU producers export outside. So the new European rule are going to become a standard worldwide. So which are the new rules coming with European regulation? So the wine label compulsory particulars must additionally include now the nutritional declaration and the list of ingredients, more or less the same for other foodstuff, but with important derogation, because the nutrition declaration on package might be limited to the energy value, and the full nutrition declaration and the list of ingredients may be made available by electronic means. And this is the first case of e-labeling of compulsory indication concerning foodstuff. And this proposal of European Union is going to be a benchmark for the discussion which are ongoing in the Codex Alimentarius. So it's a very important fact. But moving from the detail, what is an ingredient? So of what we are speaking when we said we need an ingredient list on the wine label. Ingredient, as you can read on the screen, is means any substance or product, used in the manufacture or preparation of food and still present in the finished product, even if in altered form. And which are the ingredients used in winemaking in the EU? So, which is the objective or our interest now? Well, first, of course, grape and must. This is the main ingredient. But we are also 22 substances out of the 76 allowed by EU regulation, as 24 substances are called processing aids. So are substances that are not present in the final wine, and so there are no obligation of labeling. These 22 substances are different function, but we can expect to see these 22 on the label? Probably not. So it's clear that the first consequence of a new European regulation is that The first direct consequence of a new rule is that we will see e-label with a list of ingredients. And a long list, probably not. So I borrow this slide from a presentation offered by Professor Moyo, president of EV, in Bordeaux some years ago. And this slide tells us that most of additives allowed in European Union can be replaced in winemaking by physical treatments. And so anionic and cationic resins, electrodialysis, pasteurization, sterilizing filtration, cold stabilization. And so, you can move. The real consequence, direct consequence, is that probably we will see e-label with a short list of ingredients, more or less what we are looking on the screen. Grape, always, I hope, and preservative, sulfur dioxide, quite always, and few things. So we can conclude that this new regulation have only a small consequence on the wine sector. I would say no, because indeed we can envisage some important indirect consequence. First, we will see a need for new, probably mobile winemaking services to perform these physical treatments in small or medium wineries where the scale of production is not sufficient to have directly some equipment. Second, and immediately, there is the need of new services to manage this e-label because it's not really simple. And third, the third important consequence is what I call the end of the myth. And we will observe a new true understanding by media and consumers of how wine is made. So I will come back on this point soon. Few words about the new services to manage with the e-labeling. One of the services already available for producers is the result of an action of Comité Européen des Entreprises du Vin, and they sponsored this U-label platform, where it is already working and available for producers. And this platform supports the accessibility to information that become visible framing the code located on the bottle. You can do this just now. If you frame with your mobile phone this QR code, you can discover something of interest. So framing this QR code, you can see first some general information on the wine, and clicking on the label ingredient list, you can access to the ingredient list. And in this case, it's a very short one because there is only grape, preservative, and expedition liqueur. And you can see also on the label a full nutritional declaration that is supplied by the e-label. But now we come to the most important thing, the end of the myth. Why we can speak about the end of the myth? We can discuss this point looking at the result of a recent multi-country survey, a very important one because it involved 10 countries and more than 10,000 interviews. So first, respondents were required to declare their agreement with a simple statement. Wine is a natural product free of additives. And wine is a natural product free of additives. And 43% agree with this statement. So they believe the wine is made without other additives. 40% are neutral and only 20% disagree. So what we can conclude from this answer, that among consumers prevail a naive lack of knowledge about the winemaking process. And the disclosure about additives that will come with new rule is destined to lift the veil, I would say, and calling attention to previously unknown winemaking technology change the situation. And with which consequence? We can look at this consequence again with the answer given to the multi-country survey. So in a second phase, the respondent was required to declare their agreement with other statement. One statement was high quality wine producers don't need to use additives. And the half responded, I agree. So they think that high quality wine should be without additives. And the other are neutral. And another question, respondents was asked to declare agreement with a wine containing additives is not good for my health. And 42% answered, I agree with this. And 47% was neutral. So from this observation, it looks clear that mistrust and negative perception will emerge when people become aware of the use of additives and other substances in winemaking. Because this is the true issue. So we are speaking about 22 substances. Most of them can be replaced by physical treatments. But at the moment that media and people put the attention on how the wine is made, they realize that the technological possibilities are very wide. If they open the regulation about ecological practices, they look at a lot of things that they are not expecting. So this is the real issue. So how to manage with this situation? Because this other slide give us also interesting insight. On the screen, we have the answer to the question about the intent to buy a wine containing additives. And looking to this graph, we see that only a small share of people answering to this question declare that probably they still buy wine. The country where the people has the better opinion of additives in that country, a third declare that they probably still buy wine. In Italy, the share is 20%. And of course, the share of uncertain people is wide, but it is clear that the awareness of additive use in wine production lower the willingness to buy. So what it is necessary to do? I think that there are something to do at the sector level and at the winery level. At the sector level, it is necessary to reassuring consumers about wine quality and safety of additives and other winemaking operation used. The survey shows something of interesting because the survey shows also that giving information on additive help the acceptance. So transparency may neutralize mistrust and negative perception. Some main players of the wine sector are already working for a concrete action plan to restabilize the image and reputation of wine. I think that all the people involved in the wine business should cooperate to this action plan. At the winery level, it is necessary that winemaker and enology take in consideration a reasonable choice regarding the enological practices to be used. They have to consider that a short ingredient list is preferable than a long one. And what I can say, define be enologically light, so have a production process with the lower possible technology will be an important competitive factor. It will be important to be ready to disclose and justify winemaking processes. It will be important to explain the usefulness of additives in winemaking and in general of the technology used. Now I move quickly to the second part of my presentation, a very short one, don't worry. A glance about the wine market. So we are seeing an interesting graph. What tell us this graph? This graph tells that from now to 2026, the world wine market should still continue to grow. So these are data in volume, and so are not the effect of inflation. This type of forecast, this is the forecast of agency Euromonitor, is shared also by other reputed agencies like Stata, for example. And, is credible this kind of forecast in a time of war and inflation? But as a matter of fact, also in the past, wine demand worldwide demonstrated a remarkably resilience. We observed this after the attack of Twin Tower in 2001. We observed this during the financial crisis in 2008 and again in the economic crisis in 2012. The problem for wine producers now is not only the issue of demand, but of course the issue of production cost that are going to reduce margin and profits. Anyway, of course, this kind of forecast is considered not credible by other observers. The situation is very complex and uncertain, of course. Of course, there is a risk of a new worst economy worsening, but and now I come to the end of the presentation. The main threat about the evolution of the wine market is the risk of a hard health warning on the label. And why I'm worried for this? We can look at this declaration on the screen. This comes from the minute of a meeting held in Israel in September of European Regional Committee for Europe of World Health Organization. And what we can read on the screen, Dr. Berzuli, the Regional Director Europe, explained that the European region has the highest level of alcohol consumption of any World Health Organization region. And related to that, there really is no safe level of consumption of wine and alcohol. So these are not a chat in the bistro. This is a declaration of an important officer of the World Health Organization. And so, which could be the near future? Maybe something like to have wine bottles labeled as cigarettes package. Of course, I hope no, but I am worried. We are in a really difficult situation, and it's not evident how to deal with this situation. My personal opinion is that there is only one option. This option is to courageously promote in-depth, reliable, independent studies about this issue, to come to define a full, reliable, scientific, sound-based picture of relationship between cancer and wine, and from this base define the new strategy. Thank you.
Thank you. So
hurrah
interesting.
for le Donne del Vino.
Thank you. But I have a few questions before introducing Professor Giuseppe Festa, which for me is the answer to what we saw now. We are going into little troubles with this new labeling system that will tell the consumer what there is in a wine, and so we have to compensate probably with wine marketing that it comes to become fantastic. But I have a question, Professor, because whatever you said about the labeling system, does it apply also to the new world wine producing countries, or it is also valuable only for the old world, Europe?
Okay, first,
Yes.
it seems that in Australia, probably in half a year,
Okay.
will arrive a regulation very similar to the European one.
Great.
For example, in Brazil, the list of ingredients is already compulsory. But there is a problem that producer exporting it to Europe have to comply with European regulation in terms
Great.
of wine labeling. And so they have to, out of specific agreement between European Union and importer
Yeah.
countries, the general rule is that they will have to comply with European regulation.
You know, my question is based on the fact that in the past, the two ways of labeling for the new world producing countries and in the old world has been different because they were allowed to put less information. Do you agree about this?
But not so much. The problem of the freedom in labeling of not European countries were more on some specific rule about dimension of characters,
Okay.
position of information, but more or less all the important producing countries comply with the OIV labeling standard, that it is fully consistent with European regulation, and also this matter of labeling is regulated by the Codex Alimentarius. So
Great.
the crucial information for in terms of safety, quality information of consumer and so on was defined by the Codex standard. And the problem for new regulation is to comply with Codex standard, because Codex standard said only single ingredient products are not obliged to show the ingredient list. And it is difficult today to sustain that wine is a single ingredient product. This is true. And that important, but I am confident on this side that accurate information of consumers, that it is lie of an action plan that some actors are going to put in action, could be really effective. It's not really simple, but it is possible. It would ask maybe the role of wine educator like you will be crucial, so be ready.
Yes, yes.
For this.
Thank you.
The imminent
We should ask what the producer think about this new way of labeling. If you consider
of course,
it.
I have not mentioned that the technicalities of real application of this rule is not trivial.
Okay.
And so it is important the support of this kind of platform also to help producers to manage a lot of technical detail that will be relevant in the way that you write some substance, how you define the energy value,
Okay.
and so on. But a technical aspect that it will be possible to deal with, also because the legislation is going to help producers. For example, about the energy value. When started the discussion said, but each wine is different from the other. So how we can measure every time the energy value. Okay, they decided to define some standard value according to the wine typology. So we will see more or less the same energy value for Tavernello wine and Brunello di Montalcino. Otherwise, people become crazy, of course.
As you said before, there is a lot of study and research in this field.
About how manage the technicalities,
Yeah.
yes. Not so much. So this research I show it to you, and the full reference is on the slide.
Okay.
Is the first large-scale survey about what
Consumers, yeah.
think about wine and how consumers may react to this new information supply. And
Very
it is a
interesting.
very important milestone. They worked on some previous research did to other people, but with smaller scale. So 10 countries and 10,000 people interviewed is a very,
Very
important
interesting,
starting
yeah.
point.
So let's help the consumer to have the best approach to wine, thanks to wine marketing, probably. We have, and we welcome, again with an applause, a little energy, Professor Giuseppe Festa, which is the president of the scientific committee of a wine course held at the University of Salerno, right, in wine business.
Yeah.
And what is the title of your presentation of today? Because I got it, Digital Transformation in Wine Business. Is that correct, more or
Yeah.
less?
Yes,
Great.
that's right. That is correct.
Can you introduce you a little bit? Because I saw you do so many things, and you are such an expert in,
Oh,
yes,
thank you so much
marketing.
for this section. Well, actually, first of all, good morning, everybody, and I'm really honored to be here. Thank you for your participation, and thank you to the Women of Wine, to the Donne del Vino, for this special invitation. Let me, in particular, thank President Donatella Cinelli Colombini for her great presence and great intervention and power in doing all these things. Well, actually, I work at the University of Salerno. We had a postgraduate course on wine business since 10 years. Well, actually, or better still 12 years, because we got 10 editions about the postgraduate course. Now we have a standard course, a normal course that concerns wine business in our education programs. But actually, we are going to start also other things about, particularly speaking, a scientific laboratory on the management of the communication and the regulation of food and wine, specifically about wine. Oh, okay, pardon, the translation for Italian
Yeah,
people.
thank you.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. So we have didactic activities with the wine business course, but also research activities with a laboratory that is specifically focused on the management of communication and reputation on food and wine. We are also starting a technology transfer activity next year about the potential connection between our didactic research activities and obviously the movement and the transfer to the business sector. Well, okay, pardon. Just a moment, please. Okay. In a previous congress, in a previous conference, together with the Women of Wine, well, actually, we have talked about marketing 4.0. That is an evolution starting from the quality, the emotion, the spirituality, the digitalization, and now what is called humanism. That is, say, a combination of a physical activity with digital activities. This is called digitalization, digitalized experience and activities, and we will find also an example about that. Well, actually, the name, the title of this congress, of the conference, of this meeting is about the future of wine is now, and this is true, because actually we are now in this exhibition that most probably is the most important in the world as concerns the technology connected to winemaking, wine promotion, wine distribution, wine commerce, wine business in general. But definitely we have so many examples right now of what the future of wine business can be. So we have talked in a previous congress about marketing 5.0, and this is a sort of philosophical, or sort of cultural, just for the velocity of the pointer. I only need to present Mr. Professor Philip Kotler, that is the inventor of, is that right? Maybe a problem of batteries? Yes, I need to go up downstream. Okay. Marketing 5.0, quality, emotion, spirituality, digitalization, and then physicalization. That means physical and digital all together. The inventor of Marketing 5.0 is Philip Kotler. But actually, they are not the same. They are completely different, but there are some things, there are some elements that can be considered in common. No. With Industry 5.0. Marketing 5.0 and Industry 5.0, well, actually, they could sound, and they are quite similar, but they are quite different. Marketing 5.0 is just a sort of philosophical approach to businesses, enterprises, markets, and marketing. Instead, when talking about Industry 5.0, well, actually, we are talking about the approach of a sector, of an industry. In this case, in our case, obviously, naturally, we are talking about the wine industry, the wine business industry. So, we have got a first industrial revolution, a second industrial revolution. The third industrial revolution definitely is just on the 20th century. That is to say, the introduction of computerized technology, processes, and activities in the doing of the business. But actually, nowadays, we have further evolution. In particular, Industry 4.0 is a very well-known expression. Well, actually, it was invented, or better still, stated first of all in Germany. But now we all think about and do practice Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is just the use of blockchain, Internet of Things, big data, CRM, customer relationship management, and so on. But most of all, we will see that, particularly speaking when talking about wine industry, 5.0, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the new frontier for every sector, for every industry, and in particular for wine industry. But as the women of wine said, as President Donatella Cenielli-Colomini said, we've got right now the future of wine. So wine artificial intelligence is still present right now. Industry 5.0, it is not a sort of intuition. Well, actually, it is a formal statement. It is an official statement. The European Commission has stated what Industry 5.0 is. That is to say, an evolution of the Industry 4.0 together with a new role of the human beings that are active in the enterprise, in the organization, but most of all in connection with markets, most of all in connection with consumers. It is perfectly true that Industry 5.0 is a sort of evolution also when considering the technological side of Industry 4.0. But in Industry 5.0, there is a new technological evolution together with humanism. That is to say, a new role, a new contribution of people. But Industry 5.0, we will see that at the end of this presentation, is certainly about technology, but also, most of all, about human beings. But we've got some evolution about the technologies with respect to Industry 4.0. Pardon, but I'm not calling the slides going on. Okay, so, okay, thank you so much. What are the enabling technologies for the Industry 5.0? That is to say, we have 6 categories of technology that now identifies what a potential business solution, or better still, if a potential business solution can be categorized, if Industry 5.0 or not. Just for example, the first, thank you so much, individualized human-machine interaction technologies that interconnect and combine the strengths of humans and machines. That is to say, the combinations of humans and machines. The future of wine is right now, because actually we've got, just for example, the Edgar wine bottler. Well, actually, we are in Italy. We have got many, if you can go on, please. We have got many women of wine coming from outside Italy. So actually, I've not provided Italian examples. I do say that again. We are in a fair. We are in an exhibition that most probably is the most important in the world as concerns wine technology. So when talking about Italian wine technology, well, actually, most probably it is the most advanced or one of the most advanced in the world. But only for hospitality, for sympathy, and so on. Well, actually, I've provided only 4 examples for this presentation. In France, there is a wine technology operator that has realized a wine bottler, that is to say, a wine dispenser. We've got so many wine dispensers. This is not new. This is not innovative. You can use a machine to have glasses of wine instead of bottles. This is not new. This is a sort of ancient, maybe, solution, but this is based, this is based on artificial intelligence. That means that the wine that is loaded inside the wine bottler, first of all, when the consumer, if possible to go on, thank you so much. Well, actually, if approaching the Edgar wine bottler, you can find so many data, so many information about the wines that are loaded into the wine dispenser. So there is a human-machine interaction. But this is first from a consumer point of view. But the most important usage, but the most important advantage that is connected to this wine dispenser is that the artificial intelligence is not only about the wines to serve, but most probably is about the producer or the distributor, about the wines that have been object of the most consumption. That is to say, this is not only a dispenser, this is a deposit, it is a warehouse of data of information about the consumption. And in progressing, well, actually, it can increase, it can improve the number, the quantity, the quality of wines, because these data are directly connected to the immediate consumption. So this is not a dispenser. This is an artificial intelligence-based dispenser. From the consumer point of view, I'm not only serving you wines, but I'm serving you wines with data, information that most probably must fit to your consumption or to your expectation of consumption. But also, at the same time, on the back office side, this is an artificial intelligence dispenser of data, of information for the producer and the distribution. So this is an example for an artificial intelligence-based wine dispenser for the first category of the first of the 6 enabling technologies. Bio-inspired technologies, smart sensors that do interact immediately with wine, and in particular with bottles. Just for example, if we can go on, thank you so much. We had a Japanese company, a Japanese operator that has built, together with other operators, other players, other enterprises, a joint research project about smart sensors for wine bottles. And what is the meaning of these smart sensors? Well, actually, they do apply an e-label. But an e-label is not only a label that can be read through through a device, through your smartphone, through your tablets, adopting whatever computer science mechanism. Well, actually, an e-label right now, the future of wine is right now, an e-label, thank you, is a smart label. That means that you can open the label and you've got a chip inside. You've got a sensor inside, because actually you are collecting data and information about the shipment, about the delivery of these bottles that concern humidity and temperature. So you have completely under control the level of your shipment, the level of delivery, the level of the warehousing. This is not connecting only to the fact that you are respecting the conditions of the contract. You are just on time to have information about temperature, humidity, about the shipment, delivery, and the warehousing. Another enabling technologies, what is called, thank you so much for going on, digital twins. What are digital twins? All of us are digital twins. We are digital twins. Most probably we've got a Facebook profile. Most probably we've got a LinkedIn profile. We've got an Instagram profile and so on. Well, actually, we are persons in our reality, and we are other persons on the net. We are brilliant. We are excellent. We are every day going for fine tasting, for exceptional wine tasting and so on. So all of us have got a digital twin on the net. Now this is possible not only for persons, this is possible also for businesses, for organizations and for enterprises. This is strictly called to what we have underlined just before as digitalization. That means the connection between the physical activity and the digital activity. But this is not only the net, this is not only social networks, because we have got, thank you so much for going on, we have got wineries that nowadays have got digital twins, because they are not only reproducing on the net their way of doing business in their reality, they are expanding their business activities on the net. Just for example, we have got the WIV. This is a user-based platform that uses blockchain. And this platform is based on blockchain, is based on token, is based on NFT, is based on non-fungible tokens to make completely under control the process of knowing wines, negotiating wines, auction wine, and maybe buying wines. This is called as an activity that can act on the metaverse. That is to say, this is a specialized agency about the metaverse only for wineries. Only for wineries. If you can go on, please. But there is another possibilities. Again, a USA-based company. This is in the Napa Valley, Ivinco. Ivinco is a winery that most simply doesn't exist. Ivinco is a virtual winery that is based on a DAO model. What is DAO? DAO means decentralized autonomous organization. That is to say, we have got an organization that is completely decentralized, but the single units of the decentralization, well, actually, they do act autonomously. Why? Because they are token holders on a blockchain. That is to say, there are several wineries in the Napa Valley that have decided to work together to realize a virtual winery that is working on a blockchain platform. If you search for Ivinco, Ivinco doesn't exist. But actually, all the holders of the tokens on this blockchain can decide the type of wine, the conditions of negotiating wine, the wine tasting experiences, the wine tourism experiences. But actually, there is not a single governance system that decides. It is all decentralized. That is to say, all the people. If you just well, actually, I have delivered to the organization this presentation. You will find in every slide just the link, the web address to understand more about these examples. When talking about Ivinco and when talking about the news, or better still, the info about their business, about this organization, you will find that they declare that the governance of the project is 100% decentralized. There is no single person that decides for everybody. That is to say, there is a collective process of designing wines, wine tasting, wine tourism experiences, and so on, based on a blockchain platforms. They are completely digital twins. There are wineries that exist in their reality, or better still, if you want more than wines, well, vineyards that exist in their reality, and they do act in their wine business system, adopting a decentralized, autonomous organization. Another enabling technology, thank you so much for the next slide. Transmission, storage, analysis technology, most of all, interoperability. Well, actually, one time, even right now, we have what we call decision support systems. Decision support system, well, actually, they are computerized solutions to help people assume better decisions. They work on a basis of knowledge, they work on an inferential engine. Just for example, when you play chess with a computer, well, actually, you are interacting with a decision support system, because actually they know previous games, but they can also learn from the games that you are playing. That is to say, in the most advanced DSS solutions for chess, if you are able to win, you won't be able to win next time, because the computer has learned the lesson. This is true also for winemaking. This is true. That is to say, we will arrive at a virtual doctor, we will arrive at a virtual share trade account for my declaration of taxes, or we will arrive, thank you so much, to the virtual winemaker. WineGrade, a Portuguese solution, is an artificial intelligence-based system for winemaking. Obviously, you need people. Obviously, you need experts. This is a decision support system. But it is not only a decision support system because it's based on sensors in order to have the most reliable and updated data about the present. They tell you about decision that you should adopt. This is an artificial-based winemaker. Obviously, you will need a winemaker, of course, in the future. But definitely, this is not only data for winemaking. This is, most of all, decisions for winemaking. Another enabling technology, thank you so much for the next slide, is about actionable intelligence. That is to say, we have got so many data, we've got so many information, we got so many elements that maybe we can adopt, use for better decisions, but actually we need to transform them into actionable intelligence. Just for example, Testtree. Testtree is a US-based specialized agency that work on artificial intelligence to understand more and more and more about wine consumers' taste. This is intended, first of all, for businesses, but definitely you can combine artificial intelligence database systems with CRM, with customer relationship management. That is to say, when we talk about wine marketing, we have a sort of interval between the wine product approach, the wine that I want to realize, and the wine market approach. I realize wines in order to be sold on the market. Well, obviously, these are the extremes of an interval. Your business solution most probably is a great solution, is in the middle, okay? Testtree is about not I'm going to produce the wine that I want, not I'm going to produce the wine that maybe they can want to buy. Testtree is about you to tell you the wine that you have to produce, because actually this is based on data, of information, of huge quantity of market information to help winemaking, to help wine distributors, wine operators adopt the best decisions about wine marketing. But the role of the artificial intelligence is not only about wine marketing. Just for example, it's also about wine tasting. Thank you so much. Well, actually, it has been developed so many projects, and in particular a software that most probably you have read about that it is able to understand colors, tastes, flavors of the wine. And actually, it makes no errors in more than 90% of cases. So we have got now softwares, we have got now computerized solutions based on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is right now. You search on Google, then you go on Facebook. How is it possible that I've got a sponsorized AD? It is directly connected to the word that I've used on Google. This is quite normal. Some people ask me about, well, actually, I've not searched for Google about this word. I've only talked about this word and maybe there is a sponsorized act. Why? Most probably because you have downloaded an app on your smartphone allowing the use of your microphone. This is quite simple. So we are all in artificial intelligence right now. So you have got actionable intelligence, artificial intelligence-based systems for wine marketing, for deciding the type of wine that may be most profitable, most accessible for you, but also to have computerized systems about artificial intelligence testing. Please, I'm talking about wine producers. Do not worry, because actually there are also among the attendees persons that are wine experts, wine journalists, wine judges. Okay, no problem. I've got something for you too. Please go on. We've got artificial intelligence-based system that now they generate wine tasting reviews without opening a bottle. Without opening a bottle. Why? Because they are based on huge data of information about the terroir, the territory, the history of the winery, the data about their production, the conditions of the harvest, the number of the bottles, the level of the technology that you have used, and so on. So please, do not worry about. We've got everything for wine marketers, we've got everything for wine producers, we've got everything also for wine journalists. Okay. Thank you so much. We can go on with the last, the ultimate enabling technology, technologies for energy efficiency. A Spanish solution, thank you so much, about photovoltaic, about solar energy. Well, actually, I'm not talking about sustainable use of energy. They are using in Toledo, Spain, solar energy that, adopting artificial intelligence, interacts with the plant. Because you perfectly know, much more than me, then definitely it is quite important the rain, definitely it is quite important cold or warm, definitely quite important the difference of temperatures and so on. But what is most important for the plant is the light of the sun. Is the light the most important thing for the sun? And this is true also for the grape. These solar energy machines, please go on, thank you, are not solar energy to be sustainable, to save about energy consumption, to share with other people on an energy grid, on an energy network, the production of my energy. They do interact using artificial intelligence, understanding the light of the sun and the health of the grape, in order to understand the right time to harvest, in order to understand, but this is not because you've got so much data and you've got intuition about how to harvest. They've got specific data in order to understand also the evolution of the plant. That is why the title of this meeting, the title of this Congress, well, actually is extraordinary, because the future of wine is right now. At the end, we can say that Industry 5.0 is certainly about technologies. We have talked about at least 6 enabling technologies, advanced, sophisticated technologies, but actually, please go on, Industry 5.0 is even about advanced technology, but most of all is about humanism. It's about human beings. That is why every sector, every industry will be impacted by Industry 5.0. It is just a matter of time. It is just a question of time. This will be true also for wine industry. From my point of view, most probably, industry, the wine sector, is one of the most exposed, is one of the most interesting sector for that. Why? Because wine is a cultural good, because wine has got an immaterial essence. Wine is definitely about a material. Obviously, we are talking about the liquid, we are talking about the food, we are talking about ingredients. They are physical elements. But the marketing, the reputation, the communication of wine is not about ingredients. The marketing of wine is about the immaterial component of wine. It's about the culture. I'm not talking about narration. I'm not talking about things that are not true. I'm talking about true things that better communicate the real nature of the wine. This immaterial component of the wine industry, from my point of view, produces, generates the wine industry, the wine sector, the most exposed to the advent of the Industry 5.0, always taking into consideration that the wine industry 5.0 definitely it is in the future, but at the same time it is right now. Thank you so much for your attention. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you, Giuseppe. It was difficult to translate him. So you have almost an answer to the new labeling system now, because you said let's give more power and importance to the immaterial part of wine, and for the wine there is a solution, something like that.
Well, generally speaking, we should all try to give major attention to the human side of wine.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about my intuition, my vision of the world, my exploration of things. I'm talking rightly about Industry 5.0.
Okay.
Industry 5.0 is an official statement. We are not talking about a potential vision. We are talking about a specific and official statement by the European Economic Commission. And it is based not only in Industry 4.0, that is to say, it is not based only on productivity, on efficiency, but just to rescue, to recover, to get better, to realize a better improvement of the human being presence in the actionability of these enabling technologies. So the romantic side, well, actually is quite important.
Please, the romantic side.
Yes, but
We need after all this talk.
I hope to be romantic, but definitely I'm not talking about romanticism. I'm talking about humanisms.
Okay. It was hard to understand everything. Do you agree? I struggle because I'm an old-fashioned person, and sometimes I struggle also to admit that I need to catch up with the transformation of the world, and then everything is like now online, and everything is virtual, and everything. It's difficult.
Yes, it's hard.
Do you agree? It's difficult. Probably our kids will catch up with this, and for us it's quite...
Yes, this is hard, but at the same time, we have only simply to understand that nowadays we are completely different of what we are just yesterday.
Yes.
And tomorrow we will be completely different of what we are right now. So, as I say anytime, well, actually, you cannot stop the future. The future will come anyway, or better still, most probably it is right now.
Very interesting. Another applause to him, to Giuseppe, because the professor was so
Thank you so much.
great. And now we are almost finished, but probably, Donatella, we are waiting for the message. Okay, great. We have the video from Roberta Garibaldi, who's the CEO of ENIT, Ente Nazionale Turismo Italiano, who is giving us a message because she couldn't be here today, right? We can put on the video. We
Mi
can't
dispiace
hear now.
moltissimo non poter essere in presenza con voi oggi, ma ci tenevo molto a dare un saluto in questa conferenza così importante che riunisce tante donne appassionate dei temi del vino e dell'enoturismo. L'enoturismo ha acquisito a livello internazionale ormai un peso estremamente rilevante. Lo vediamo quest'anno, abbiamo tenuto in Italia il Forum Mondiale delle Nazioni Unite sull'enoturismo e abbiamo visto una partecipazione veramente importante. Anno dopo anno in tutte le varie edizioni abbiamo visto crescere il numero dei paesi partecipanti che hanno deciso di investire in quest'ambito, oltre a quelli più tradizionali, come è sicuramente il nostro paese. e quindi è stato molto bello poter leggere e condividere le evoluzioni del settore che sta andando ovviamente verso la digitalizzazione, verso una sostenibilità intesa in senso ambientale ma anche economico, oggi con la crisi che stiamo attraversando molto importante, e soprattutto sociale. Il peso della sostenibilità sociale infatti è diventato praticamente nell'interesse del turista pari a quello della sostenibilità ambientale. E quindi in realtà diventa uno strumento importante di comunicazione sia durante la visita sia nel percorso di scelta del turismo stesso. Parliamo di never ending food tourism, e quindi di un turismo che si sviluppa e che si srotola prima dell'esperienza, durante l'esperienza e dopo l'esperienza stessa. E quindi con incredibili possibilità che arrivano in tutti gli ambiti, a partire dalle degustazioni digitali, per esempio, che possono essere qualcosa che viene venduto in cantina nel wine shop al termine del tour assieme alle bottiglie di vino, e diventa un'occasione per condividere un'esperienza con parenti e amici e favorire il loro ritorno e la loro visita successiva in cantina. Parliamo di una relazione di lungo periodo che si sviluppa grazie alle tecnologie, e quindi nuovo modo di relazionarsi con i clienti che possono tornare, visto anche tra l'altro la nuova centralità del turismo domestico che è diventato uno dei temi che hanno cambiato profondamente il settore dopo il tema del Covid. Il Covid ha portato un'innovazione nel mondo delle cantine con con un forte, per esempio, maggiore utilizzo degli spazi aperti dove c'è stata molta innovazione. Pensiamo ai picnic all'aperto, le cene all'aperto, le degustazioni all'aperto, percorsi di autofruizione nelle vigne, la forte crescita del bike e gusto. È quasi raddoppiata la propensione all'utilizzo del bike per fare visite guidate, i percorsi di wine trekking, e pensiamo alla nuova centralità del benessere, che la voglia di benessere fisico e psichico, e anche di vivere questi momenti negli spazi verdi, negli spazi aperti. Ecco che quindi la possibilità di fare sport, che abbiamo accennato nei vigneti, ma anche attività creative e quant'altro. Davvero un mondo che ha avuto una forte evoluzione, una forte apertura, e che quindi già tantissime aziende hanno colto, muovendosi molto velocemente in un momento di difficoltà, e quindi hanno saputo cogliere le opportunità che spazi più aperti come quelli rurali potevano dare durante questi anni di difficoltà. Sono stati appieno colti, e quindi direi che l'occasione è molto importante e molto, molto bella per consolidare queste innovazioni, e anche in questo futuro di turismo così modificato sia dal punto di vista della domanda che dell'offerta nel post-Covid. E un buon convegno a tutti. Grazie e a presto.
Thanks, Roberta. And we are almost finished.
Buongiorno a tutti voi, mi dispiace molto.
Okay, finished. For the last greetings, any question? No, okay. Donatella, to you. You like mine o il mio? Open? Okay.
Is working? Yes. Thank you, everybody, for the attention. I think that we learned a lot this morning all together, and I wish like to give a little sign of our thank to you,
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much,
Sandra.
Donatella. Thank you.
to Mr. Professor Pomarici.
Grazie.
From all the Italian women of wine. And now the program is a little visit.
A lunch. We have a lunch in the VIP
We have
lounge.
a lunch.
Yes.
And ask to Paola for the sign
Bracelet, yeah. Okay.
to enter in the lodge for the lunch. the visit of the exposition, and in the afternoon we will meet all together to sign an agreement and to grow up our networking with the women of wine of all over the world. Thank you.
And thanks to
for
the
your
translators.
attention, and see you later.
Bye. It was a pleasure to have you here.